Hi, I'm Randy Wooden, and welcome to another in our Edge Library series. This time we're talking about researching a company. It's sort of like exercise. We all know we need to do it, but how do we do it effectively, and how do we make it work for us in an interview? And so there's a variety of things you might want to keep in mind as you're thinking about researching a company. We all know to go online. That's one of the main things anymore. Let's Google it, find out what we can find. Well, great. But what is it you're Googling? What are you looking for? And how are you going to use that in your interview? Let's talk about that for a moment. We all know to go to the company's website. But when you think about it, what are you really there to learn? Think about it. I mean, if you walk in and you say, well, I see you have 82 facilities around the world, and that's why I want to work for you. Well, it sounds kind of cheesy. I wouldn't do that. What I would do, though, is, I'd go on the website. I'd want to find out as much as I could about the company history. Ideally, I'd like to know what they make or what service they provide and do some other research to find out who they compete with, because their own website isn't going to tell you that, typically. But one thing that most people bypass when it comes to researching a company online is that what I would do is I would also look at where that particular company also showed up in other searches. For example, let's say a local company here in our area. Yeah, sure, I'll go to their website, but you know what? They may have also appeared in our local newspaper regarding a big project or maybe a big contract they'd won or something that put them in the news. Ideally, something in a positive light, not that they went out of business or they filed for bankruptcy or anything like that. I'm talking about something that makes them look good. That's something that many times job hunters just sort of bypass because they're so focused on looking up the company's websites and seeing if they're a privately held or publicly traded, whatever. Yeah, you want to learn that, but go to those sites. Other things you can do to sort of research the company. One is talk to people. If the interview is with a local company, there's a pretty good chance somebody knows somebody who knows somebody. Start to ask around. You can even go online, whether you use LinkedIn, even Facebook, anything. Anything where you can identify with local job hunters or local people in your area and ask, hey, anybody know somebody who works there? Now, you don't want to come out and tell what position you're applying for and that sort of thing because it might attract more competition, but just ask about company reputation and you'll get some responses on that, maybe not a lot. But if you might just say, hey, anybody know somebody who works at company X? Maybe somebody will come out of the woodwork and say they do. So it always helps if you can get somebody who knows somebody that works there. Big plus. Now, name dropping in the interview, a little bit dangerous. You really need to be kind of careful about that because you don't necessarily know how that person is viewed within the company. And even if you ask, chances are you're not going to get the full truth anyway. So I'd be very careful about dropping names, but I think it's good background information to have, and I do that frequently with clients. When they tell me, hey, I've got an interview with company X, I'll go on, I'll find somebody who works there or knows somebody who works there, and not that they'll put in the word for them and say, this person needs to get interviewed and such. Well, that would be great, but what they will do is say, sure, I'd be happy to talk with them about the corporate culture, about the company atmosphere and that sort of thing. So those are a couple of ways. One is people, the other is online. And something else you can do while you're actually waiting for your interview, while you're in the lobby. Take a look around, look at the walls, see what's around you. Notice things. Notice, have they won awards from the state? Has the Chamber of Commerce given them some kind of award or plaque? Are they involved in the community in terms of sponsoring nonprofit groups or teams and that sort of thing? That a little bit speaks to sort of the company mindset, particularly when you're dealing with a small to mid-sized company that's not necessarily known nationwide or worldwide. It's a good idea. This way it gives you a little sense for where their heart is and that sort of thing. So those are some ways to research a company. But again, the biggest one that most people bypass is Googling and finding not just the company website, but also learning a little bit more based on where they appear in local news stories. Hopefully that's been helpful. It's going to wrap it up for this in our Edge Library series, dealing with the question or the concern of researching a company and how to go about doing that. I'm Randy Wooden. Thanks for watching.